All right. Good morning. Good morning. This is Shab- our Shabbat prior to Passover this evening, Shabbat Hagadol, and so this is our meditation prior to Passover as well. So before we delve in, just find yourself in your seat. When you readjust, make sure that you're sitting comfortably and supported, that the weight is on your sit bones properly, and that you don't feel like you are trying to keep yourself upright in a way that is unsustainable for the next 25 minutes. Just a comfortable position for your body that you can hold without thinking about it. As you settle in to that seated, lying down position, check in with your breath. Feel it rising and falling in your body, dynamic motion of in and out, filling and emptying. Just allow yourself to feel that natural rhythm in your body. Allow it to take hold of you, noticing that if you relinquish just a little bit of will and control, the rhythm continues and you can observe it. That whether you, that aspect of self that we use to control our bodies, to make decisions, that you can hold that piece of awareness apart. Simply notice your breathing as opposed to controlling it. And in that same way, notice that although it is quite easy to imagine that conscious part of us, that part that is our will, that we exert upon our bodies and the world around us, may feel like the primary piece of who we are, may feel like the primary thing that keeps us alive and moving in this world. You can also notice that perhaps this unconscious or below conscious aspect of ourself that continues our breathing with or without us is what gives rise to that aspect of us, which is consciousness. Sit for a moment, feeling your breath, trying to allow it its own space, feeling what it does to maintain your existence. That it is a part of us and we are a part of it, deeply intertwined. Yet there is a sense of separation and difference. At that beginning of what we call self and the end of the biological processes that take place without our consciousness, although it may be a continuum, it may not be able to exist one without the other. There is a sense in which at one end of the continuum is the self, and at the other, the autonomic bodily processes. and we can view them from afar. Modani lefanecha, melecha v'kayam, shehefezoti binishmati, v'chem la, v'chem la, ra-te-ha. I offer thanks to you, ever living sovereign, that you have restored me, my soul, in mercy. How great is your trust. I'd like to continue the process of acknowledging our bodies, connecting and seeing, and expressing gratitude for them. That perhaps that sense of the divine, of God, can be found in these autonomic systems that maintain our life, that hold us, provide us a dwelling place in this world. It's so easy to forget that our bodies are miracles. All of these moving systems that, in fact, science has only really scratched the surface of. Combination of organs, bacteria, neurons, arteries, veins, nerves running through incredibly complex, multi-layered system that all works in concert to sustain itself and to create a foundation from which each of our personalities emerge. Without every aspect of these systems working, you would not be able to emerge conscious, present, the facility of will and choice. Due to that truth, and offer thanks to our bodies, to that force in the universe which led to their development, creation, beginning with our breath. I want you to notice your next breath, and the breaths thereafter, the interconnected nature of every aspect of the body. If you move your head, you can feel it in your shoulders, perhaps even your hips. That hip shift might actually affect your legs down to your feet. Every part of our musculature is connected. With the ability to choose to even move in a certain way is reliant upon that breath that sustains us, sustains consciousness. That along with the breath, our heart continues to pump in rhythm. Our digestive system continues to function, moving food along, gaining nutrients, spreading them throughout the body, the heartbeat, pumping blood, allowing that blood to carry those nutrients, the oxygen from our lungs throughout our body. Finally, moving all of these important systems together into our brain, which is the seat of our consciousness, but also of our nervous system. That loop back, brain creating those electric impulses that continue our heartbeat. Endless circle of systems, both disparate and united. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofecho basar mavli la'asot. Blessed are you, Adonai, who heals all flesh, working wondrously. We return once again to our breath, noting its role as the bridge between conscious and unconscious. Through our breath, we are able to calm our nervous system, slow our heart rate, or the opposite. It's the platform for communication between our conscious mind and our bodies. That something scares us in the outer world, our senses take it in, our breath speeds up, which speeds up our heart, which then can affect our digestion. The breath is the bridge. Elohai neshama shenatata bi, Yehorahi. Ata v'ratata yitzarta, ta nefakta bi v'ta mishamra b'kirbi, kol zman sheneshama b'kirbi, modani lefanecha. Elohei avotai v'imotai, ribon kol hamasim, Adon kol hanishamot. Baruch atah Adonai, asher b'yado, nefesh kol chai, v'ruach kol basari. My God, the soul you have given me is pure. You created it, you shaped it, you breathed it into me, you protect it within me. For as long as my soul is within me, I offer thanks to you, Adonai, my God, God of my ancestors, source of all creation, sovereign of all souls. Praised are you, Adonai, in whose hand is every living soul and the breath of humankind. The soul is a difficult concept for us in our contemporary age because it cannot be measured, it cannot be tracked. There are no instruments with which we can observe the soul. And yet our tradition tells us that it exists and connects it to our breath. Our ancient ancestors saw that breath and soul are united. All of the words in Hebrew translate to soul, can also be translated to breath or wind, nefesh, neshama, ruach. Each of these three words have different valences to them. Nefesh resides in the throat. neshama in the chest, ruach. Ruach is that wind outside of us that enters the breath in. Each piece, the ruach from outside, the nefesh, throat, and the neshama in our chest. It's just a cycle. Breath in and out. Our prayer that our Torah teaches, granted to us each day anew by God. So we'll now enter into breathing together, connecting this God-given right, both R-I-G-H-T and R-I-T-E, mindful breath across distance through our ears and eyes that connect us, even though we're so far apart. We all breathe in the same ruach and travels through our nefesh and fills us with neshama. Count slowly out. 1, 2, in. 1, 2, 3. To bring us together through breath for our barhu, our call to prayer. We'll begin now. Out. 1, 2, 3. In. 1, 2, 3. 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 Out. 1, 2, 3. In. 1, 2. I'll invite you to continue that rhythm. Baruch et Adonai, Hamevoh. Baruch Adonai, Leolam. As we join ourselves together in breath, we also consider all the different aspects of the world around us that must join together to maintain our breaths. The cycle of tides and times, light and the dark, the heat and the cold, the water and the earth, flame and the wind. Each piece of the natural world, just as our body works together to maintain us, works together to maintain all aspects of itself. These many layered cycles moving rhythmically, but also ever changing. Fractal mode of existence as patterns repeat and shift and change and then repeat and shift and change. And we within them, pattern seekers, our brains tailored towards recognizing patterns, maintaining our own survival through these patterns. And that ability, that wisdom to recognize patterns, to share those patterns with others, passing that information down generation to generation. So it has allowed humanity to thrive and survive, to grow, to create our own place on this planet to exist. That we ourselves are granted that pattern seeking process from God, the pattern maker. That our Torah itself records these patterns in narrative and ritual through holidays, observations. We are able ourselves to weave these patterns into existence in our own world and connect us to the earth, to nature, to each other, to God. Noticing writ large that it is all one pattern, like an incredible tapestry, warps and weaves, changing, but also maintaining. That oneness, that wholeness, that full breadth, within that we see God. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Ito Leolam. When we note our place in this pattern of oneness, of connectedness, we also note that our ability to discern our place in it is an act of love, and that we too must reflect that love back through good deeds, through maintaining our wider perspective throughout our day, remembering that we are part of this wider pattern ourselves, and that we, co-creators of the pattern with God through our knowledge, have a responsibility to continue to remember that we are the divine actors in this world, that we can use our choices, that consciousness that our bodies give rise to make this world better, and that our understanding of what better is resides in a singular truth of freedom, the truth of liberation. This season of spring, season of Passover, brings to mind, which our prayer service reminds us of every morning and every night. And it brings us to that moment of crossing the Red Sea, of God's great breath blowing, spreading the sea, splitting it in half, allowing our ancestors access to freedom from slavery, spaciousness from places of constraint. That each of our breaths is a reenactment of that moment, an opportunity to reconnect to that feeling of freedom and liberation, an opportunity to be reminded that we too must work towards that liberation for all people. And that starts within us, with our breath. May we, in the season of our liberation, each of us remember the great gift of freedom and also choose to share that gift in whatever way we can with others. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael, blessed are you, Adonai, our God, one who redeems people Israel. Return your thought to your breath now, moving your head ever so slightly, perhaps stretching your neck very, very gently, moving your fingertips and toes, bringing your awareness fully back to your body, carrying with you that feeling, season of liberation as we move into Shabbat HaGadol, the great Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.